of the program to invite His Excellency, the Deputy President, who will deliver the scorecard. And I request that we give him a warm round of applause as His Excellency, the Deputy President, takes the stage. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Members of the Senate, because the scorecard which we celebrate today, the achievements of this administration for the last 3 years could not have been possible without the unwavering, consistent and faithful support from the two houses of parliament. Every success we have registered, from healthcare to affordable housing, to all our programs in education and infrastructure, would not have succeeded if the enabling legislation was not passed by the National Assembly and the Senate of Kenya. And because we are the majority, our two parties form the majority of the members of the two houses, history will be very kind on these members, because as we assess the progress made in the transformation of our country, there will be a very, very prominent chapter on the role that the National Assembly and the Senate played to actualize the flagship projects of the broad-based administration. Your Excellency, I've been given 20 minutes to say very many things. I'll try to keep the time, and we have agreed with the leaders of the houses that after the 20th minute, they can ring the bell. Your Excellency, the last 3 years have been phenomenal, because when you were sworn in, and iko kitabu, there is a booklet with the scorecard, so that you can help, you can be able to follow as we go through. I will not be able to say everything, but I will be able to give the key highlights in the 20 minutes which I have. So, Your Excellency the President, when you were sworn into office on 13th September 2022, the economy of Kenya was in bad shape because of a number of factors, mainly the disruption of the supply chains because of the war in Ukraine and Russia, the COVID-19 pandemic that has shut down our economy for more than a year, and other shocks, including the droughts that had ravaged our country. Because of these economic shocks, our economy was in bad shape. Kenya was one of the 6 countries in Africa that had been predicted to default in their sovereign debt, the others being Ethiopia, Chad, Ghana, Gambia, and Zambia. Out of the 6 countries, including Kenya, that had been predicted to default in their sovereign debt obligations, only Kenya survived. All the other 5 countries defaulted. Why? Because immediately you were sworn in office, you made very difficult, painful, and unpopular decisions that helped bring our economy back on track, including negotiating a G2G arrangement for the supply of crude oil, which was not available in 2022 September. People were queuing to buy petrol. And we saw the escalation of costs of petrol, which is a big contributor to inflation. It kept on increasing until it reached a high of 2018 shillings a litre. Over the last 3 years, Your Excellency, through your leadership and with the support of the broad-based administration, we've been able to bring down a number of macroeconomic indicators that were affecting our economic environment. Number one, prices of essential commodities that had skyrocketed and therefore influencing the cost of living negatively have been stabilized over time, including unga from 250. Today, unga from 138 shillings going forward, you'll get your unga depending on the type of unga that you want to consume. But from 138 shillings, you'll get your unga. Your Excellency, fuel which had gone as high as 217, 218 shillings a litre has been going down continuously. Over time, losing over 40 shillings. Today, we are at 178 a litre. Your Excellency, inflation, which was at 9.6% at that time, is now stable for more than a year. It has been somewhere between 3.5 and 4.5%, which is within the central bank preferred midpoint. The Central Bank of Kenya preferred midpoint for inflation is 5%, plus or minus 2.5%. We are below that CBK benchmark. Last month it was 4.3%. Again, congratulations, Your Excellency, because inflation, low inflation, and keeping inflation stable and low is one of the macroeconomic foundations on which our economy is going to be built going forward. Your Excellency, the exchange rate, the shilling was losing value every day. Over the last almost 1.5 years and more, we've been able to keep a stable exchange rate at 129 shillings, down from 165, 162, 165 shillings in 2022. Your Excellency, congratulations. The Kenya shilling now has been rated as one of the most stable currencies in the world. The top 6 stable currencies in the world, the Kenya shilling is in that list. Your Excellency, over the last 3 years, again, due to difficult and popular but important decisions, we have now grown our cash reserve ratio. Our foreign exchange reserves have increased. In 2022, when you were being sworn in, people were booking dollars. Business people wanted to do export-import trade. They needed to pay for goods from overseas. They had to book dollars for dollars, and you could not get, if you ask for 10,000, they tell you we'll only get you 3,000 today. Next week we'll get you another 2,000, because we didn't have enough foreign exchange reserves. We have moved over the last 3 years, Your Excellency, under your leadership, from a low $5.7 billion US dollars, which is import cover for 2.5 months, to a historic high. I know the booklet says that we are at 12.3, but we have increased. The data from Central Bank on Thursday, we have hit a historic high, 14.6 billion US dollars, equivalent to 1.9 trillion Kenya shillings in foreign exchange reserve. Import cover of 6.2 towards 7 months of import cover. Kimani Ishungwa is an accountant. He's telling me it's not 6.2, it's 7 months import cover. Meaning even if the economy of Kenya was shut down for 7 months, we will still conduct our affairs without disrupting international trade, our export and import trade. This is historic. We've never been there before. Your Excellency, sir, on the economy, the other indicators are also looking good. I've talked about the strength of the currency. I've talked about low inflation. I've talked about the cash reserve ratio. I also want to talk about national savings. For 62 years, we had only saved 320 billion through NSSF. Okay? I know in the booklet, national savings comes as the last point, but I decided to bring it forward because it's part of the economic fundamentals that influence our macroeconomic stability. For 60 years, we only had savings through NSSF of 320 billion. In the last 3 years, in fact, 2 years, because we changed the law, again, courtesy of Parliament, we started implementing the law that Parliament passed 2 years ago. We have saved an additional 370 billion in 2 years. Today, savings stand at 690 billion Kenya shillings, projected to hit the 1 trillion shilling mark by the end of next year. Again, historic, because we have more than doubled our national savings in 2 years compared to what we had saved for 62 years. Your Excellency, all these macroeconomic indicators point to a better Kenya, a stronger economy. No wonder all the ratings of the Kenyan economy by international credit rating agencies have been positive on Kenya. From Standard & Poor to Moody's, Kenya now has been upgraded to somewhere between B3, B-, a stable economy by sovereign credit rating companies which are global and therefore are not politically inclined. And therefore, this macroeconomic heavy lifting has taken us a bit of time, but we're in good place now. Going forward, the remaining part is easier because now we now move into the realm of microeconomics, that is putting money into the pockets of individual citizens, creating jobs and income opportunities, and also employment, jobs, household incomes, and that is where the other programs that we have rolled out are going to take us, as we are going to see. So that is how the economy has been stabilized over the last 3 years, and some of the interventions required parliamentary support of the two houses of Parliament, and we applaud Parliament in its entirety for that support. Number 2, Your Excellency, is agriculture. We have undertaken a number of agricultural transformation steps in the last 3 years as the broad-based administration. Number 1, we started with the registration of farmers. Before then, we didn't have a database on farmers. And now we have a database of farmers. We know what they farm, the acreage of land, the kind of fertilizer they need, and where they are. And we are now having 7.3 million farmers whom we know what they need in terms of farm inputs. That was a major milestone of the achievement of this administration quite early within the first year. Number 2, we've worked on the farm inputs to bring down prices of farm inputs, mainly fertilizer, from a high of 7,000 shillings per 50 kilogram bag of fertilizer to now the current 2,500 shillings per bag. We've also subsidized certified seeds to make them more affordable, and the result of these interventions have been to improve productivity in agriculture. Maize, for example, the staple crop, we have seen an increase in our maize production from 44 million bags in 2022 to 75 million bags last year, 2025. We have also seen the increase in terms of income and returns on coffee from an average of 60 to 70 shillings a kilo. Today, a kilo of cherry, the farmers are getting somewhere between 120 and 160 shillings, more than double of what the prices were in 2022. Earnings from tea over the last years have improved from 154 billion in 2022 to last year 215 billion Kenya shillings, the highest returns from tea in the history of our country. We've also increased our production of sugar because for a long time Kenya has been importing sugar. Your Excellency, you recall more than 20 years ago when you were Minister for Agriculture, you still used to lead Kenya's delegation to Zambia to negotiate for COMESA safeguard measures so that we can get sugar imported into Kenya. In the last 3 years, Your Excellency, through your leadership, we've been able to reduce the imports of sugar by over 70%. The production has risen from 472,000 metric tons in 2022 to 815,000 metric tons in 2025. Through your leadership and with the help of both houses of parliament, we have been able to bring in a new law in the sector to eliminate cartels and to provide for partnering with private sector to lease government-owned sugar factories, Mumias, Nzoia, Chemelil, Sony. And today, we are now not just having an additional 200,000 acres under sugarcane production, but we are also having timely payment for farmers, of course at better prices, from 3,500 shillings per ton to the current 4,500 shillings per ton. Your Excellency, because of these reforms, the cartels in the sugar industry have been dealt with, and in the next 2-3 years, Kenya will not require to import a single grain of sugar from anywhere. In fact, Kenya will start exporting sugar to the other countries in the region. Your Excellency, for the first time, farmers are being paid every 7 days for their delivery of cane, and workers are being paid at the end of the month. And for the first time since sugarcane growing was introduced in Kenya, sugarcane farmers are earning bonus, as you yourself has presided over the issuance of bonus in Mumias, and I'm sure for the other sugar factories, the bonuses should be coming at the end of the year. So that is what we've done for sugarcane. And in terms of milk production, Your Excellency, we've been able to increase production from 4.6 billion liters in 2022 to 5.3 billion liters last year. Our exports of dairy products have also increased by 92% to last year's 9.4 billion shillings worth of exports of dairy products. Your Excellency, we have also in the livestock sector been able to start installing milk coolers to provide longevity for milk and avoid wasting milk, which has been going bad. But also we have vaccinated 7.9 animals. We have also been able to increase our meat exports, which were 12.9 billion shillings last year. And we are also almost completing the Kenya Leather Industrial Park in Kenanie, which will bring value addition into the livestock sector and make more income and returns for pastoralists and livestock keepers. Your Excellency, sir, I can also highlight a few things we've done in the blue economy because of the counties in the coast and counties around Lake Victoria that depend on blue economy. We are building fish landing sites from Waepe near Lungalunga all the way to Mokowe in Lamu, Kipini, Kichwa Chakati in between, and we are also giving grants to beach management units. We've already disbursed 3.2 billion shillings to beach management units to support fishermen. We are buying boats. The small boats are already in place. What is being procured now are the high sea or deep sea fishing boats and we are collaborating with county governments to fasten that procurement so that we can have boats that can go into the deep sea and bring better fish and more valuable fish. We are also, we've completed the Shimoni fish port, 2.6 billion shillings. We've completed a big mariculture center in Shimoni at 1.4 billion. We are building Kabonyo Aquaculture Center of Excellence around Lake Victoria, 1.3 billion. We have landing sites around Lake Victoria from Migori all the way to Mukoba in Busia and all the other places in between. We have finished the Paya in Homa Bay, the fish markets in Homa Bay, the fish market in Kidongo in Mombasa. We have also done the lab, fish quality lab in Mombasa. It's almost complete. And the one in Kisumu is also 55% complete. We are also providing pond liners and cages for fish cage farming, and also providing predator nets to encourage inland fish farming. So, Your Excellency, I know that booklet has omitted that blue economy thing, so we'll improve and maybe, because that's an area also we've done very well. Number 3, Your Excellency, universal health. Universal health, Your Excellency, when you came to office, the first thing that this government did was to promote primary health care by employing community health promoters, 107,831 of them, who continue to be our foot soldiers to encourage people to live well, to try and detect complicated diseases before they become chronic, like diabetes, sugar-related diseases, pressure-related diseases, in partnership with county governments. I must also thank Your Excellency the same way I thank the members of the National Assembly and senators. I must thank the governors of the Republic of Kenya, because they have supported every program where we have partnered between the county governments and the national government. There has been zero resistance. There has been zero politics, because we are used to the past politics of fighting devolution, and any input from the national government to the county governments has been embraced by the county governors and the county governments wholesomely. I commend the county governors of Kenya for their patriotism. Your Excellency, under universal health care, as of this morning, we have registered 29.8 million Kenyans into Taifa Care, which is historic, because we are coming from 7 million shillings, 7 million Kenyans under NHIF. You can imagine from 7 million to 29.8. I think in the next 2 weeks, we will reach the 30 million mark. I can see the governor of Mombasa. Mombasa continues to lead. As of this morning, 932,000 residents of Mombasa out of 1,190,000, 78% are enrolled under Taifa Care. I see the other governors are trying to incite me to also mention. I will not name them, but the top 5 counties, for purposes of record, is Mombasa, followed by Bomet, followed by Elgeyo Marakwet, followed by Kirinyaga, and Tharaka Nithi closes the top 5. Your Excellency, it's only that we are in a formal meeting. I would have asked that question. Your Excellency, sir, what we need to fine-tune to improve our universal health care going forward are 3 things. 1, we need to improve on the health commodity supply chain. There are still a few gaps in the health commodity supply chain system. Number 2, we need to improve on the actuarials of the universal health coverage to make sure the premiums that are paid are able to provide quality packages for all kinds of treatments across the board. And thirdly, we need to fine-tune the issue of fraud. We must fight fraud. The biggest threat to any public insurance, medical insurance around the world, in all countries, the biggest threat is fraudulent claims. We must overcome that challenge, detect fraud, deal with it when it happens, and make sure that we secure UHC into the future. Your Excellency, in terms of equipment, we are under the National Equipment Support Program, which all counties again have signed to. We are placing specialized equipment to replace the now decommissioned MES program with the National Equipment Support Program. So we've made a lot of strides in the health sector. In terms of education, number 4, Your Excellency, education. When you were sworn in office, there was a lot of hue and cry. Everywhere we went, citizens used to tell you and to tell the rest of us, if you get into office, abolish CBC. Today that noise has died completely. Why? Because immediately you were sworn in office, you established the Presidential Working Party on education reforms. High-level experts, stakeholders, students, lecturers, and all the people in that space contributed to the streamlining, the reforms that we have implemented that streamline the CBC program. Transition has been going on. We just transited into grade 10. I'm told we are now 99-point-something% transition into grade 10 in the 3 pathways. There is still work to do, but at least we provided clarity on the CBC program. We have employed 100,000 teachers. Our commitment in the manifesto was 116,000 teachers. We will close the gap this year, and we will celebrate that milestone as well, because we discovered during our campaigns that there was a poor student-teacher ratio. By that time, it was 1 teacher for 45 pupils or students. Today, we have reduced that ratio from 1 to 45 to 1 to 29, one of the best in the world. Even the developed countries, it is somewhere between 1 to 25 and 1 to 30. So we are doing well. The textbook ratio in our country is among the best in the world, 1 to 1. The textbook student ratio of Kenya is among the best in the world, 1 textbook for 1 pupil or student. Your Excellency, we have built 23,000 classrooms. 7,000 of those classrooms have been built by members of parliament from the National Assembly through CDF. And 15,000 classrooms have been built through the national government. Your Excellency, we have also been able to employ 3,300 tutors for our TVETs, and we have also achieved a number of things. Number 1, we have increased the budget in education from where it was in 2022, when you took over. The education budget was 500 billion. Last year, it was 702 billion. This year, it will be 738 billion. Going forward, we also have increased capitation for universities. Funding for our universities has moved from 45 billion in 2022 to 82 billion last year. Funding for the Higher Education Loans Board to provide loans has increased from 17 billion in 2022 to 41 billion last year. In terms of tertiary education, Your Excellency, what have we done? Number 1, we have increased enrollment, because when you came to office, there were more students in universities than in tertiary institutions, which is it's not the way it should be. There should be more students at the lower levels, including tertiary institutions, and less in the university. We are trying to correct that anomaly. In 2022, we had 297,000 students in TVET. Today, we are at 718,000, 3 times more. Your Excellency, we have employed 3,300 teachers for TVETs. We are equipping the TVETs, and we have brought policy changes in that space to increase the number of people who access TVET. We have brought the modularization policy, where you come, if you are a Juakali person, you do one module, you continue doing your business. When you get some time, you come back and do another module, and over time, you accumulate. You don't have to stay in the TVET for 3 years. If you are already engaged in other things, you can pursue your TVET education in a modular form. We have introduced the dual training policy, and we have introduced the recognition of prior learning, which helps to certify those who are prior learning, but they don't have certification in technical related subjects. That's what we have done on education. That's number 4. I'm not doing so well. Number 5, Your Excellency, is infrastructure. And infrastructure, I'll speak about 4 things. One is the roads program that I had stalled. In 2022, many roads had stalled because of lack of money. Those roads stalled in 2019, 2020, 2021. There was no money. When you were sworn in office, President William Ruto, we had pending bills in the road sector of about 190 billion. Those bills were verified, and they came to 177 billion. They have all been paid. The 177 billion of pending bills has been cleared by the broad-based administration. And thanks to Parliament, because they helped us pass some of the regulations that has helped us have innovative financing models and securitizing part of the fuel levy to be able to clear those bills. In the last 3 years, we have completed 2,143 kilometers of road. With the clearance of pending bills, 6,000 kilometers of new roads or stalled roads which are stalled, 6,000 kilometers are now being built across the country. And Your Excellency, as I travel around this country, I really get impressed. Some of the areas where citizens had given up hope on tarmac roads, I have seen those roads with my own eyes. Niseme nisiseme. From Mandera to Ramu, to Kitoka Lamu, Gare, from Gare, Elwak, Kobo, Kotulo, Tarbaj, Wajia, Samata, Modogashe, Garbatura, Kulamawe, Isiolo. 750 kilometers of a road under this administration for the first time in northern Kenya. 750 kilometers. The largest, the longest single road project ever to be initiated in the Republic of Kenya. Karibu niulize Rais Ruto ni fire si fire. But since this is a formal meeting, sitauliza. There is another road which had been approved to be graveled, but President Ruto changed the instructions and said it should be tarmacked. From Lamu Port to Ijara to Garissa, all the way to Isiolo, 421 kilometers. It's being tarmacked as we speak. Over 50% of that road is now being done, has been done. I have seen roads which have been forgotten, like Taveta, Chala, Njukini, Olerai, Rombo, Ilasit. It's now okay. It's almost work in progress. I've seen the dwelling of Changamwe, Mariakani. I've seen the dwelling of Mtwapa to Kilifi, going into Malindi. It's ongoing. And the flagship one, Rironi, Mau Summit, which is being worked on as we speak. So there's a lot of progress. That is the roads. Electricity, we have increased the connectivity of electricity from 8.8 million households in 2022 to 10.3 million households in 2025. And we are on course towards universal electrification by 2030 as was envisaged in Vision 30. Our connectivity in electricity now is 66% nationally, one of the highest in Africa. Some of the African countries are still at 11%, 18%. And 177,000 bed capacity for hostels. And then we are also providing institutional housing for our security forces, from Kenya Defense Forces to National Youth Service, to $15,000 for KDF, and the list is long. That is what we've been able to achieve under affordable housing markets, hostels, and institutional building. We have distributed very quickly. This affordable housing, hostels, and markets program has created 500,000 the ICT hubs and the Kazi Mtandaoni program, 300,000 jobs. Other than the 500,000 jobs in the which has created opportunities for 142,000 young people, starting with the Nairobi River project, but also in other projects. Your Excellency, we have Kazi Kwa Ground, and the Kazi Kwa Ground is the 100,000 teachers you have employed. It is the 500,000 teachers under affordable housing and hostels. It is the 142,000 opportunities created in the private sector because the economy is recovering. Kazi Kwa Ground. Under the Kazi Mtandaoni, I have saved 300,000 and they have not gone there by chance or by trial and error. It's because of deliberate government interventions. Which ones? Eradicating recruitment cartels, signing bilateral labor agreements to protect our workers abroad, providing a green channel for passports of young people who have a contract so that in 2 days they get a passport. Them buy a ticket and acquire a passport through the Youth Enterprise Fund. These interventions is what has promoted the Kazi Maju program. We have now 538,000 I've been presiding over. The first component of Nyota, which is business support, has reached 123,000 young. Expanding that number into 1 million, even 2 million. And we are working on it both under the Nyota program and also the KJET, which will equip small enterprises with the equipment they require to increase their productivity. And we are working on that, Your Excellency, to ensure that between KJET and on-the-job experience and AGPO opportunities and RPL, which are the components that we are working on. That's what you've done stadium in this part of the world, the Talanta Sports City, which, Your Excellency, allow me to talk about security reforms as I visited on many people because of terrorists, extremist groups, and bandits to a big extent because of the police equipment model. You are implementing, or we are implementing the police reforms in terms of welfare. Just last week, an announcement was made for increment of their salaries. The lowest prison warder and police officer will get an increase of 48% of their basic salary. This has not been done in a long time. We are building houses for them. We are providing medical and life cover for them if they get hurt in the line of duty. Your Excellency, for the KDF, the modernization program is also running smoothly, and we want to thank you for those reforms. In terms of our road traffic safety, just this week we went live on instant fines. That should be able to reduce the road accidents and make drivers accountable, and we are going to see a drastic reduction of road accidents because of the cameras and the instant fines that we have introduced. So that's what we've done. Allow me to end, Your Excellency. I know I've exceeded my time. I don't know why the leaders have not rung the bell. Let me finish by projecting the future. As you have led us, Your Excellency, you have told us Kenya is punching below its weight. For far too long, we are struggling, yet our potential is big. Through your leadership, Your Excellency, we've been able to crack the difficult issue of how we finance our modernization and transformation. And you have told us it is possible for us in one generation, as has been done in Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea. We are able to transform Kenya from the third world economy status to the first world. Other countries have done it, we can do it. China, for example, pulled 800 million people from poverty in 40 years, between 1971 and 2021. We can do it in one generation. And you have led us, and on this one, once again, I thank our parliamentarians. Just yesterday, we saw the signing into law of the National Infrastructure Fund Act, a bold measure that will define our future and will set Kenya free, economically speaking. We put in resources there, government resources, private sector resources, so that when we sell part of the assets we have, the money does not go to salaries and recurrent expenditure, as has happened before. We sold Safaricom in 2008. We don't know what we use that money for. We've sold Kenya Airways shares before. We don't know what we did with that money. We've sold Kenya Re before. We don't know what we did with that money. The money now we are offloading from some of our assets goes into this fund to define our future. We extend our railway from Naivasha to Narok, to Nyamira, Kisumu, all the way to Malaba. We draw our roads, as I have said, another 28,000 kilometers of road. We build dams and harvest water and get away from the shame of hunger. 50 mega dams, 200 mid-sized dams, and 1,000 smaller dams. We also increase our energy productivity by 10,000 megawatts, because currently we only produce 3,300 megawatts. We need 10,000 megawatts so that we can power our industries into the future. Time has not allowed me to talk about KIPES and special economic zones, which we are constructing. Your Excellency, I thank you. I stop there, and I apologize for exceeding the 20 minutes. Thank you very much.
A warm clap for His Excellency, the Deputy President, with